Hi, I'm Jo Martin and welcome to Jo&Co, the place for inspiration and information to help you change your corner of the world. And if there's one thing I know, if you want to create great change in the world, whether it be at home, in your community, in your organization, or indeed globally, then one thing you need a hell of a lot of is energy. And one of the things that we women especially are terrible at is taking care of ourselves to the point where we have enough energy to do the basics. Which is why I want to introduce a concept which is really important to appreciate, and that is the concept of needs. Needs are those things which we actually require to be okay. I'm not to survive, right? We need needs to survive and just be at neutral. They're not things that are going to bring us the greatest joy in the world or the most fun and excitement. Those things, we can think of as extra goodies, as desires, right? But needs are things that you actually require to keep functional on a day-to-day basis. I'm talking things like enough sleep, enough water, a nutritious meal, maybe even things like affection. I mean, there's a lot of research that shows that human beings need to be touched 8 times a day to feel connected and to feel a part of, a part of the world. Touch is so important. I know for myself, if I'm not having massage or some kind of body work at least once a month, I go into pain. Like I actually get pain. Pain is not okay, right? So for me, massage is kind of a need. And I know some people will watch that and go, oh my God, God, that's so bourgeois that massage is a need. If your body is in pain, your needs aren't being met, right? You need to take care of yourself and find a way to sort that out. So for me, that is a need. We all have different needs. But what are yours? Start to think about it as we talk about this, because they are so, so crucial. I want to share with you an interesting experience that happened for me when I realized how different I related to my needs compared to how my husband Greg did. I remember we'd just moved to the UK, so my son probably would have been about, a year old or so. And I remember he woke up in the night crying, and it was Greg's turn to go and check on him. Anyway, Greg gets up out of bed. He has a sip of water. He walks down to the bathroom. He goes to the toilet. All the while, James is crying in his room. He then walks back to James's room, walks in and takes care of James. Now, any mothers are kind of going, whoa, crazy. For me, my maternal instinct is such that when I hear a baby crying, I don't even register. Do I need to go to the toilet? Do I need a drink? How am I doing? I'm just in there dealing with the baby crying, and while I'm in there 15 minutes later, not able to move because he's finally just fallen back to sleep again, I realize I'm busting to go to the toilet and the whole thing goes terribly pear-shaped. I've noticed this many, many times over the years. It was something that was first brought to my attention by Alison Armstrong, who runs some amazing programs called the PACS program. She's out in the States, so if you get the chance to check out her programs, I highly recommend them. But it was something that was first brought to my attention by her, this difference in the way that men and women relate to their needs, right, to their very survival needs. So I was kind of on the lookout for it, and sure enough, I see it everywhere. Men tend to be far better. When they're hungry, they eat. When they need to use the bathroom, they do. I mean, I drive along the on the motorway with Greg, and if I say I need to go to the toilet, he almost swerves off the motorway right then and there. So I've gotten much better at saying things like, at the next services, can we please stop because I'll need to use the bathroom by then. And it's far safer for our driving habits. Anyway, I jest, but there is this difference in the way that we relate. We women put ourselves last. Not all of us, of course, some of us are better than others, but as a tendency, we tend to do that, which means that we not only deplete ourselves and our own energy reserves that are available for us making our highest contribution in the world, but we also deplete our reserves that are available to hold our communities together. And I say that because so many women really are the linchpin of communities. We're often the linchpin of our families. I remember Thea, one of my Lead the Change graduates, a few months ago was writing in the forum of our Lead to Change program, how she was really cranky because she'd had an off day one day on the weekend. She just hadn't been herself, and just because she didn't have the energy to be okay for her kids and for her husband got really upset, and her kids got really upset as well. And because of that, she was kind of a bit resentful to start with, that she had to be the one that was fine to start with. But as we reflected in the forum and the amazing contribution of the women in there, we realized that, we can get upset about the fact that kind of that's how it is, that how we are doing impacts how everybody around us is doing. Or we can just get that, hey, it's one of our responsibilities. It's one of those things that we can bring. We get to bring so much joy to the people around us if we're fine, right? So our key priority needs to be getting to okay, not just for ourselves and our own energy and making that contribution, as I said, but also for the people around us. When we can take care of ourselves at that level, and I'm not talking necessarily about manicures. I mean, a manicure isn't a need, is it? It's probably a want for most people. It's a desire. It's a nice to have. Maybe it is a need for you. I don't know, right? I'm not talking about necessarily, having a weekend spa day every 3 weeks or any of that. I'm not talking about that extra stuff. I'm talking about just getting to okay. When we're just at okay, that's also when our magnificence kicks in. When we start to get radiant, when we start being attractive, and people want to be around us. Hell, we want to be around us. If we're not there, we often don't. We don't like who we are. We don't like how we're behaving. So the key to all of this is identifying those things which you need to feel fine. Not talking about brilliant, not talking about off the chart, jumping with joy. I'm just talking about okay, not unwell, not sick, not in bed with some illness, not in pain. You're not feeling deplete. You're not feeling cranky, right? All of those things are gone, and you're just doing okay. Let's get those things handled first. So what I'd love for you to do as a result of this session today is grab a pen and paper and list out for yourself what are the things that you think you need. We at our retreats go in and create an actual chart of these so that you know exactly how much of everything that you need. But one of the things that I invite you to start with is just a list, right? What do you need in order to be fine? How much sleep do you need? And then can you see that you get it? Change one thing every week and you'll make a huge difference. How much do you need to drink? How many glasses of water? Get some habits. Set your phone alarm so that every couple of hours it's going off and you remember to drink another glass of water. Nutritious meals. Get yourself organized so you have healthy snacks in the fridge. I don't know what it is, but take care of those things. Take care of those things that are the basics, because that is going to make a huge difference in your ability to bring your best self, not only for yourself to get what you want from life, but also to make your biggest contribution and to make an impact on the people you hang out with every day. Take care of your needs or you'll run out. It's as simple as that. I look forward to hearing how you go with that. Share with us in the comments and let us know how you go.